Hi, welcome to this second episode of the Week Here Virtual Talk. My name is Alice Mulombe Muyambo, a visual artist and author. And if you listened to the previous episode that I had shared, you would learn that this virtual talk is primarily centered on mental health awareness, mental health advocacy, and just sharing more information and insights on all areas that surround mental health. On today's episode, I'll be sharing one or two things that are very important to the advocacy for mental health. Did you know that today, 10th October 2023, is the annual Mental Health Day? And each year has a different theme, and I'll be sharing a bit more about what this year's theme is. And I hope you get to learn something today, learn something new, and who knows, it might be something that changes your life. And the other thing that I also like to share is something from my book. Last time I did indicate that I have a book titled Free Your Mind, Free Yourself. So I'm going to be sharing a snippet from there, which I feel is also a very important message, especially for a day like today. So let's get right into it. So the theme for this year for Mental Health Day is mental health is a universal human right. And if you didn't know that, at least you now know. You've learned at least one thing today about mental health awareness. And the whole essence is to share more knowledge and raise more awareness, and especially stop the stigma that surrounds mental health. There's a lot of stigma that surrounds mental health, and I've experienced this even through conversation with people. Most of the times when I say I'm a mental health advocate, I get asked a question, and today that's one of the things that I wanted to share. I get asked the question, why mental health? Why mental health? And to me, the reason why I do it kind of also evolves with me. And when I started, it was something that I wouldn't say it started from a personal experience, but it started from knowing or learning more about how we neglect our minds. And I started to ask so many questions, and then later on I experienced a period where I would have so much anxiety. But what I didn't know is that was aligned to mental health. And then I started to read more. So when I read more, I grew more with my knowledge. And the thing that I also noticed during the time I would have a lot of anxiety is I would run to my art. But it wasn't something like a light bulb moment. It came from experience. So I find that every time that I'm feeling very anxious, I would either get something and scribble something just without expecting anything out of it, or I would get my brush, get my pen there and find something or somewhere where I could just paint. And believe it or not, by the time I'm finishing what I was doing, I would not be anxious anymore. So it started to bring more questions. How many people out there know that you can actually use art for therapy? And that is something that you can use in the comfort of your own space. And then there was another question. So that's why I'm saying it's something that has, for me, the reason is something that keeps evolving with me as well. So when I asked that question, I answered myself. And the next question I asked myself is, what if someone says, I'm not artistic, but they would love to try out art for therapy? Then the question was answered by me creating a book, and that's how my book came to be. So it started from not knowing to experiencing something like anxiety, then finding that I can actually use art for therapy, and then just learning more. So it's been a very progressive process, and it's something that I don't shy away from. And even when people approach it with a lot of stigma, sometimes I find that it's easier to explain in a way that someone can understand. So if you hear something like this theme, the theme for this year for Mental Health Day is a universal human right, and that's the theme for this year. So it's your right It's your right. It's a universal human right. And like I said, the whole essence is to share more knowledge, to share information, give more insights, have conversation, and also just create safe spaces for the conversations themselves. And the other thing that I wanted to share is I want to read something from my book, which I feel is very relevant to the day, especially a day like today. And it's a dedication that I put in the book. So my book is titled, in case you haven't seen it, this is the book, Free Your Mind, Free Yourself. And I wanted to share one of the messages that I put, which is a dedication. So it reads, to anyone that feels alone and is in search of hope, my message to you is, you are not alone. The power lies in self. Don't give up. And the reason when I was writing this dedication is, I wanted it to serve as a reminder to any person that uses this book that you are not alone. There's always someone you can reach out to. Always, always, always. There's always someone you can reach out to. And then also, I wanted to also emphasize the power. We all have a power that is beyond the next person, and that power lies in self. You yourself have the power. You have the power to overcome anything, and if you believe in yourself, you will definitely overcome it. And the other third message is, don't give up. No matter how things get, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how much you feel alone, don't give up. Give yourself a chance to overcome your experience. And I just really wanted to share this today to remind anyone out there that apart from it being mental health day, it's also people's lived experience. It's not just a day where we commemorate it, where we say mental health is important, but it's a person's lived experience. So if there's anyone that's listening to today's message, if there's anything you'd love to take from this episode, is don't give up. You are not alone, and the power lies in self. And I know it's not easy, but it's not impossible. So give yourself that chance. Reach out to anyone. Reach out to anyone that's ready to listen to you. And also, again, be kind to yourself. This is something that is kind of like my daily mantra. I love to say that. I love to remind myself, be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Because only when you are kind to yourself will you be able to be kind to the next person. So that's all I wanted to share today. And as we commemorate World Mental Health Day on the 10th of October 2023 and remind ourselves that it's a universal human right, I also want people to remember that be kind when someone approaches you with information, something that's personal to them. So I hope you learned something, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. And thank you again for supporting. Thank you for the messages. Thank you for the comments, and also thank you for sharing the posts. Bye.